Okay. I feel a little self-conscious. I feel like I'm maybe kind of not in the zone of making YouTube videos or whatever. Sometimes I'm really into it. Other times I'm pretty distracted with my job or whatever. One must pay their rent. So like, yeah, I'm not in my house anymore. That's where I used to produce everything. So if you see a bunch of content on my channel, you'll notice that my house features prominently in a lot of those videos. A lot of the Monday morning documentaries that I did a while back, they're all at this little blue house in Longmont, Colorado. Well, I no longer live there, so I've moved out over the last month or so, and I'm currently staying at a friend's place. Um, and my two friends, a beautiful married couple, who I've been friends with for a very long time, and they run an erotic film company called Spark Erotic, matter of fact. They didn't make that. I didn't make that. It's just an art piece. It's in the shot. I didn't know where else to shoot this in the house. Um, let's see it together. Yes, that's what that is. And now let's move on. All right. So as always, it's been a while since I've made the kind of video that you're looking for. That's kind of usually the case around here. Um, but when I do make them, I make them from my heart because I only make them when I fucking feel like it, and I fucking feel like it tonight. It's late. I've got the whole place to myself. I'm in my bathrobe. Isn't this gorgeous? It's a beautiful velvet number. It's purple. I don't know if you can tell. Probably not. That's okay. Um, Fragrances. Remember when we used to like review fragrances as like a hobby, a fun little hobby? We're back to it. Um, I got so distracted. I did like a TV show and some films and stuff. And I got so distracted. I did like some films and I did a TV series. Um, so I really haven't had much energy to do these. But when I do have the energy, I fucking love doing it. And thank you for being here for it. You guys are so kind to me. Okay, fine. Enough fucking prelude or whatever. Into the reviews. Listen, we're going to do 2 reviews tonight. It's tonight for me. It could be any time where you are. It could be multiple times, I guess, if you were to watch this twice. It could be 2 different times of day for you, so I understand that. But for me, it's nighttime, somewhat late, I guess, in the evening. 2 or 3 cocktails in, and a big wiffle bat of a joint, and then another one. This is its little sister. And I'm ready to do a review. 2 reviews, matter of fact. I have, I'm a polyamorous person, and I have a couple people that I connect with regularly. And one of them I've been connecting with for a good long time. However long. We don't have to get into all these details about my personal life to talk about a thing. Okay. A while. Long enough to where, like, she knows me very well. Okay. So, I think it was for Christmas this year. We give each other gifts, I don't know, somewhat often. But, I think this was a Christmas gift. And she gave me this. Can you see what that says? Impossible. You can't see what that says. That says Paris Hilton for men. She got it for me because of 2 reasons. I keep hitting my ashtray and it sounds like a bell. Ready for it? We're going to hear it one time. Beautiful. Soul cleansing. And not really appropriate for a YouTube video. Thank you. So my lover gets me this fragrance because I had gotten her some Paris Hilton stuff because we love Paris Hilton. Side tangent about Paris Hilton. Oh my God, very quickly. let's at least smell the fragrance before we go deep on it. But Paris Hilton's an interesting character. We're going to talk a little bit about it. A little bit about it. We're going to talk a little bit about it. You're like, how will he be able to smell it very well if he's smoking so much weed? You're thinking too much about this. You're working too hard at this. It's for fun. It's to have fun. This, you can get this for $20. It's a men's fragrance. Let's smell it just by itself in the can here. It smells like weed smoke. That's weird. Weird. I don't think that's in the notes. Now, you're thinking, this is not going to be a good fragrance. You're thinking, this is not going to smell good. This is going to smell cheap and shitty and whatever, synthetic and everything. And you'd be right in many ways. A lot of those, whatever, adjectives are apt. But let me also add this other idea into your mind. Let's take it seriously as a fragrance, just for a second, because some of these celebrity fragrances are really good. And I take a lot of joy in this fragrance, but I have like, whatever, emotional reasons why I think it's so great, because I thought this person made such a great joke to me. So, we bless her. We bless her work. And let's sniff this while we also talk about Paris Hilton. What are we expecting to smell here? We're talking about, it's kind of like citrusy, fresh, I'm clean, my dick probably tastes good. That's the vibe. Does it have to be so explicit? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it has to be, but it is. That's sort of the vibe. Oh, I hate when I spray these for a sample and I get it on my other hand. It's sort of nice. My brother is getting into fragrances, and he's really deep in, and he's like way more of an expert than I am at this point. And I'm not an expert at all, so that's really not saying much. So starting this part over, yeah. He when I got this and I smelled it, I texted my brother, the next day or whatever, and I was like, she gave me this fragrance, and I actually, for what it is, I like it. And he's like, whatever, disapproving. But I don't know, it smelled a lot worse. And let me try and break this down. First of all, let's just talk about the fragrance itself. Whatever, it's from Paris Hilton. It's in this bottle, which is sort of, appealing, sort of an interesting bottle. It feels like a lot of fragrance. Is it? I can't read it. Is it a fucking, how many mils is it, I guess? Several. And what's it like? Have you ever smelled Nautica Voyage? Popular-ish. It's like Nautica Voyage, but with cucumber as one of the really main forward notes. And maybe like sage also kind of turned up. Now I think it says it has basil somewhere in there. And I could kind of see that, but it would be a light version of basil. Because sometimes in these fragrances, when it says basil, you're like, yeah, Jesus, can you ask it to turn down? So it's like Nautica Voyage, I'd say, especially the more it dries down. That's kind of the vibe. It's $20 or something. It lasts not terrible long, 5-6 hours. It's good morning fragrance. And then it's kind of gone. I don't know. It's like if Nautica Voyage wanted to be more like cucumber melon from Bath and Body Works, and then also a little bit like Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Intense for women. Trying to almost get a mineralic kind of vibe. I think it's kind of nice and sweet, and I still think of it as a masculine fragrance. I'm gonna think this is all right. So we've talked a little bit about the fragrance. I'm gonna grade this on a scale. Here's how I'm gonna do this. Okay, here's how we're gonna fucking do this. I'm gonna grade this on a scale. I'm going to give you what I think the score is for this fragrance. And this is like, should you maybe fucking buy this for fun this summer to have when you garden? If your lifestyle's like me, you want to pick a nice gardening fragrance, something kind of refreshing or whatever. Not quite. I just stepped out of the pool and am sexy. That's what like Nautica Voyage kind of is for me. I'm gonna grade this on a bit of a curve. I think this is a fucking solid 7. Yeah, right at a 7, because it's like it's not pretending to be fancy or whatever. It's like a sweet, fresh citrus thing. And it's made by Paris Hilton, who I am convinced is a high-level performance artist. Let's get into it. Listen, I was hanging out with this person. I've been dating this person for a while, and she thinks Paris Hilton is a fucking fabulous, interesting character. I hadn't really considered it from that angle. So, but I love to fucking find a new truth. So, I started watching more Paris Hilton interviews and such. And there's definitely like moments when you kind of see her speaking whatever in a different vocal tone with more of a business kind of savvy in her dialect and in her fucking intention in her sentences and whatnot. And then they flick on the camera and it's obviously like a character. We always knew that. But also, she's only made $1 million billion fucking dollars using this character to sort of comment on, I don't know, larger American culture. I don't know. Is she a fabulous performance artist? Yeah, I think maybe she is. And also, this fragrance is not bad. It should be worse. It honestly, we like this. My lover got me this as a joke. She didn't expect me to like it. I kind of like it. 7 though? I mean, that's on a curve, right? How big a curve? I don't know. When the arts are involved, it's hard for me to release and not be romantic about it, I suppose. And I have this great connection because of who gave it to me or whatever. She makes a great case for it. Paris Hilton, she's a very wise, interesting character. And like, the more I study her life and whatever, and then watch the things that she makes, that's an interesting story happening. That's a really probably more interesting person than I realized. So there you are. A little art note about Paris Hilton. We gave her fragrance a 7. Out of how many? Well, that's a really interesting question. It's kind of insinuated it was 7 out of 10, I guess, but I didn't technically say that. So, whatever. If you want to get mad at me in the fucking comments, just imagine it's 7 out of another number. You could just imagine it, because it'll matter the exact same amount. All right, listen. We're going to review the next one now, and I have a lot to say about that. But in between, I'm going to take a little break, and you're like, he seems like he's a little off the rails. Well, listen, I don't just gotta, this first, it's, fuck your rails. Mango and sage and cucumber. A little bit of like amber. A little bit of a woodsy thing. A little bit of like a light woodsy thing. I like it. I don't know. I fucking like it. And it goes away quick. Don't get it on your clothes. It'll last longer. So I get 'em. Ah. And now, the reason you probably clicked on this video is because I'm going to review this fragrance. And this is sort of a new thing in my world. It's not from a brand I buy stuff from that I've ever really paid attention to. And I bought it because I smelled someone else's and thought it smelled good. This particular fragrance is mostly talked about in the fragrance community, it seems, because it's sort of, let's say, reminiscent of another fragrance. Some people will say a word like clone or whatever. I'm not comfortable with that. I don't know what the fuck that means. But it definitely was like a shout out, maybe, to this other fragrance in the world. From a different house or whatever, and we don't have to fucking mention it in this. But that's often what it's talked about for. And that's nice. We respect that. But instead of thinking it through the lens of maybe this is sort of a knockoff of another thing, let's approach it from the perspective of here's an interesting fragrance. Can you see that? Oh my god, it's like one of those infinity things. Oh my god, can you see what it says, you fucking wild people? Oh my god, the reflection. Is it working? It's crazy. Club De Nuit is called Club De Nuit Intense Man. The Club of Night Intense Man. Weird mixture of words. Remember when we did Alien Man and we were trying to figure out like how the name of it interacts with the actual fragrance itself? That was a really confusing conversation that I had with myself in front of you, with you, hopefully, kind of. This fragrance is sort of like that. Club of Night? The Club of Night? A nightclub? Like a billy club? Like what police have? Is that what you fucking mean? Because it kind of does hit like that if you put too much on. Nightclub? Like, that's what it means, right? Nightclub? Not like the Club of Night. This sounds like a Batman thing. Is it Batman? I don't think it's Batman. Club of Night Intense Man. That sounds awful. Some dude in an alley with a fucking club who's intense? Ah, fuck that. That's when you need a Batman. This really has already gotten weird. We haven't even sniffed it. Let's sniff it. Like a nightclub to the face. No. It's actually really nice, but it's got this very citrusy beginning to it. When this shit's wet, it is super lemon vibes. And I think when it kind of dries up a little bit, you get more of the pineapple and some of the other things in it. Club Nuit Intense Man by Armaf. Looks like this. It's actually really nice. I bought it because I was at a performance. I was playing guitar. I bought it because I was wearing it one night. I was wearing a sample of it at a performance. I was playing guitar for one of my favorite breweries. They were having a party. Barrels and Bottles Brewing Company down in Golden, Colorado. I was hanging out there, and it was going to be an outdoorsy kind of event. They had like the garage doors open and blah, blah, blah. So I knew I could kind of wear whatever I wanted, and I probably could wear a jacket because it might be chilly, and I could probably wear a fragrance. Maybe even a strong one. So I put this shit on, and I think I was sparing. I think I was relatively conservative with it. But I put it on and got so many compliments. It was amazing. It's probably might be one of the better compliment getters that I've had. So I ended up buying a fucking bottle of it, which is sort of rare for me. And I gotta tell you, it's maybe $10 more than the Paris Hilton bottle. And we're not gonna be grading this on a curve. We're gonna be giving this straight ahead kind of grading here. I really like it. I really fucking like it. Lemon, pineapple, bergamot. That's kind of like the top part of it. Let's spray this shit. Let's fucking spray this shit. Whoa. I'm spraying this stuff on some business cards that I found. I just moved, right? So I went through all my shit. I found some business cards. Aren't they adorable? Oh, there. Now you all have my email. Is that good? Is that bad? Do we hate that? Do we love it? I don't know. Am I supposed to let people know my email? I'll ask my manager. God, it fucking smells good. Woodsy, fresh thing. I'm not going to think of this really as a sexy fragrance necessarily. Very good fragrance, very sort of masculine vibes, very much intense man, one might say. It's got like wood and rose as kind of the mid notes. Rose is a unique fragrance note in men's fragrances, but it's becoming a little bit more popular. We've been seeing a little bit more of it. It's kind of drying off fast. That's awesome. Patchouli, vanilla, amber. It's got a musky, woodsy, citrus thing happening. Smoky, even. I think smoky is probably most associated with this fragrance because of the other fragrance that it's associated with most of the time in a review. But it's not that fucking smoky. It's really more like sweet, woodsy thing. I get a little bit of smoke. And it doesn't just smell like marijuana smoke, like that first smell of the Paris stuff when I had my joint in my hand. That affected the nuances of the fragrance. But fuck me. It's good though. You know what I mean? My brother told me that for the first little while it has like a lemon pledge vibe and that to like let it dry down. But I like that shit. I don't know what that means. It's very possible that I have bad taste, and we always must keep that in view when we deal with these videos. Could be I have bad taste, but it does have a pineapple-y, citrusy thing going, and I fucking dig it. Big pineapple vibes, and you know what? We're into that. We're into pineapple vibes. All right, there you go. There's some thoughts. Fuck me. Those are both good. I don't know. Those are both good fragrances. I think they call it like a sweet, fresh, citrus, spicy. I think that's sort of what they market it as. Fuck, I like it a lot. You know what it is? This is where we give a high score. Ready for this? It's gonna be a very high score. feel like it's a 9.5. I feel like it's like a 9.5 out of 10 dying stars, or what the fuck ever, 10 cherry pies or whatever. Yeah, it's like a almost perfect fragrance. I do think it could be a little smokier. I think people are wishing that smokiness into this. It's a little smoky, I guess. It's more woodsy. It's the woodsy pineapple thing, and it's got some herbaceousness to it. Smoky, I don't necessarily agree with being a note necessarily. I think that might be just an outcome of the sage, which, as you know, maybe at this house that I used to live at, the little blue house, it had a giant garden in the back, and part of that was a big thing of sage, big plot of sage. So we're pretty familiar. It's like that stanky sage. And now, coming to the stage, stanky sage. Isn't it stanky sage? Kind of. Yeah, it's nice. I don't know. Maybe it's patchouli. Maybe it's the patchouli. It does seem like sage or patchouli. It's got an herbaceousness to it. I don't know. I really do like it. Rose and patchouli. That's probably what I'm really smelling. What's that? What's that? Oh, that turns out Sage is sick tonight. Oh, we hope we get better soon, Sage. And now, welcoming to the stage, people from the actual list of fragrance notes. Rose and patchouli. Put your hands together. Put your hands together. Nah. But it does have sort of that stanky sage vibe, and I'll always welcome stanky sage around. I don't know. I'm into it. 9 out of 5. Not on a curve. These people are not performance artists. You know what I mean? They're professional fragrance makers. You know. 7 for Paris Hilton. We're assuming that she's a high level performance artist, and we're giving her a little bump. We love that. We love the arts. We try and support the artists. Silver and gold have I none, but such as I have, give I thee. So here's a fucking 7 out of 10. Oh, he said it. Now he said it was out of 10. Oh, he ruined it. That's okay. It's my job to ruin it. It's still nice. I went back to smelling the Paris Hilton one because they're really nice, different fragrances. This one does have sage in it. I really like it. The more it dries down, I think it's sort of nice. What would it be without the little fucking, we're assuming she's a performance artist bump? We don't know. We don't know. You'll have to ask someone else about that shit because our brain is only broken a certain way. Love it. I fucking love it. I love that fragrance. And then this one is like, when it dries down a little bit and it's not so loud with those top notes, the woodsy part of it really does linger, and that rose stuff really does come out. Still, though, when they say smoky, I don't think that's a real thing. The other one, the other fragrance that they say that Club Nuit Intense Man is sort of a reference of, that other fragrance does have a smokier component, because I've had a nose on that as well. I love that shit. That smells so good. This shit smells good. Club Nuit. Club De Nuit Intense Man. We recommend it. It's fucking $30. You know what I mean? $30. Summer evening, maybe, if it's chilly. If it's hot, I'm not sure this is right. Maybe if you put it on, okay, here's a little tip. If you want to wear a heavy fragrance like this, I don't think I'm wearing this on a hot night. You know what I mean? I don't really think so. But if I did want to, because I'm a stubborn motherfucker, then what I would do is I would take a Q-tip and I would press it up against the sprayer and I would spray it onto the Q-tip and I'd put a little bit behind my ears and a little bit in another place just in case. Another tip built into this tip. We'll give many, many little life lessons as we find them in the world. On a Q-tip, that's an easy way to apply that kind of a thing. Say you wanted to wear like Tom Ford Oud Wood, but it's like a summer day or whatever. The problem is really wearing too much of it, and a big spray of it is going to be too much fast in the heat. So the Q-tip trick, that's recommended. And also, if you have nice moisturized skin, it's going to hold that shit a little better. It's just an opinion there. But a 9.5 for that fragrance. We like that shit. 7 for Paris. 9.5 for Club De Nuit. We love this. What a fun thing. Thank you very much for listening to me rant about a thing. Jesus Christ. This was a 30-minute take. God damn it. This turned into a 30-minute video. Thank you for watching. If I start working on it now, I could be done by like 4. That's why we got to wear the comfortable clothing. You know what I mean? It's tourist season and whatever. That's what they tell me. Excellent. Well, those are my notes for those fragrances. Boy, I hope you have a great evening or day or blah blah. We did this bit earlier. You have my permission to enjoy whatever time you're living in. And also, you never need anyone's permission, friend. You know? All right, I'm done. I'm done. Did I do it? Dear friends in the comments, I want you to know I did this just for you. You know? Nobody in my world or whatever that, like, we make the arts and stuff, they're not really asking me to do this stuff. You guys are. I'm here for you. I think, like, I'm glad you're here. And I love that we like to talk about this shit. Thank you for being here. If you want to see more of my other life stuff, come to my website. If you want to see more secret shit, yeah, like erotic art and stuff like that, that's over on my Patreon. Do you want to see that? All right. Thank you very much for watching.